Hey guys, Jona here at Screwfix Live, and we're checking out the Wiha booth. Anyone who's watched the channel for any length of time knows how much I love Wiha tools, and they're a company with great history, set up by Wiha in 1939 in Wuppertal, and that's where the name comes from. Wiha is based on Willie Hahn's first two letters of each of his names, and Wiha have invited us down to Screwfix Live to create a panel for them, a Wiha Ultimate Tool panel, checking out some of their best, most innovative tools, putting them all in a panel, creating a display for the front of this booth.
And for anyone not already in the know, Wiha tools are professional grade tools for all sorts of trades. They have a great range of tools for electricians, but also for mechanics, joiners, anyone working on maintenance. Wiha have quality tools in their lineup for pretty much every trade.
So let's have a look around the booth, find some of the best and quirkiest tools, take them home so I can join them up with my existing collection and build an epic tool display. So let's get into it. Quite like these little tool bags with the pockets, like the little angled ones. You can fit a laptop in the middle like a technician's case. The good thing about Wiha is they'll sell a lot of different kits, so you don't just buy the bag, you can get a kit and it pretty much gets you straight into it. But obviously you can still buy the items individually. I also like how you have the Vario screwdriver bits and you can fit them in the stubby or in the little telescopic precision driver or in the bigger screwdriver, but they all use the same bits, they're all interchangeable, which is pretty awesome. You can buy one kit like this with a whole ruck, 17 pieces, and then buy just the stubby handle, just the precision screwdriver handle there for 20 quid, and then you've got a whole another screwdriver set, which is awesome. So I think I've got to pick some of those up.
Where are the bacon rolls?
What?
Where are the bacon rolls?
Where are the bacon rolls? Yeah, catch you later. Another favourite of mine, which I've not long ago got my first one of these, the Speedy screwdriver, which is an absolute beauty. To be fair, they've got loads of innovative tools, Wiha, so there's no shortage of things to talk about. Even the little electrician's hammer with the flat top on it, which is a lot easier to use. And then the personal favourite, they even made the 100k Wiha wall, is the level with the adjustable marking points. So you put it on a wall, you can kind of set these into position, and then it just makes it much easier. Repeatably marking the wall, which is pretty cool. I've just picked up one of these last week on the Facebook Tools video. If you've not seen that, go and check it out. But I got pretty much the exact same kit from Richard, just with the 8-in-1 VDE screwdriver as well. And I'm kind of thinking about putting together the ultimate electrician's kit in this, because I really like the dividers on the top, I really like this tray, but underneath it's crying out for some shadow foam. Possibly 2 layers, create a really cool ultimate kit that can then also cut into the foam. But it's just a solid case. It's a proper solid Wiha case, and I reckon I could fit a lot of tools in that, even in foam, which is cool. And then if I do run out of space, I can upgrade to one of these beasties. Like, these are the ultimate kits already. They come with a load of stuff in them. Some of these kits have items you can't get individually. I don't know if you can buy Wiha levels and little pocket levels individually. They're great. I love an 8-in-1 multi-cutter. So you got a cable shear, cable stripper, and a pair of like combination pliers in one. That's a tool I don't have. So that is one I've not long had in that toolkit. That's the item that wasn't in that toolbox, to be fair. 40 quid, and it's one of the nicest little ergonomic, satisfying tools. That is another highlight. I'm just pointing out the ones I've already got, to be fair, at this moment. I love the bi-cuts. Power button to get even more cutting power. Seen a few bits here, to be fair, that I've not seen before. That set as well, the through 10 screwdriver set. I've not seen those before from Wiha.
Right, so that's all the tools I needed from the Wiha stand. Let's get back to the workshop. Right, so back from Screwfix with a bag of Wiha goodies. I've got some really cool additions to my Wiha toolkit. And speaking of Wiha toolkit, I've got all my existing Wiha tools in here, which will be going into the panel, and another little bundle that Wiha have sent me. And all of these combined are going to be going into our ultimate Wiha display panel, which is going to be a thing of beauty, hopefully, when it's all done. We're going to have a Wiha logo in the middle, fill it up with the most innovative and the best tools from Wiha, and they have got some absolute bangers. So let's get straight into it, and I'll show you what I picked up from Screwfix. Now, top of the bag is this video's sponsor, Gentle Bands. So Gentle Bands make men's rings, and they have an amazing variety of tungsten lifetime warranty rings. Now, they asked me to choose a couple, and I had a look through, and to be fair, I was spoiled for choice. I did struggle. I picked their classic gold band, which was called Radiance, and it's a tungsten ring with an 18 karat gold plating, and I do really love tungsten rings. My wedding ring, I've been married 14 years, I'm glad I got that, 14 years this year, and I've always had a tungsten ring. The first year I had a solid gold ring, but The first couple of knocks, being a tradesman, it got misshapen. It kind of like went out into a bit of an oval and I'd have to take it off and it'd be uncomfortable. This tungsten ring has never lost its shape. So I do recommend a tungsten ring. And with Gentle Bands, they have a huge range of rings, even to a very classic gold, the one ring to rule them all, or this little beauty here. The Eternus ring I thought was amazing. It's black opal, which is quite a fascinating gemstone, and then meteorite. I think what is cooler than that? There's something quite poetic about this ring, I think. It's a nice little present to myself, made out of something quite rare as well, the meteorite, and a nice little gift to myself after 13 years of shadow foam, which is quite a special material in itself, similar to the meteorite and opal that's in this ring. So all of the rings from Gentle Bands come with a lifetime warranty and a certificate of authenticity as well. And all these rings are handcrafted. You also get a year-long free resizing. So if they send you the ring and it's slightly wrong for your finger, you've got a full year to get it resized. And the other good thing about tungsten rings is they're solid, they look great, and they are a fraction of the price of a silver or a gold ring. So if you're in the market for a wedding ring or a ring for any other occasion, use the link below to Gentle Bands and make sure you use the code on screen for 25% off your next order at Gentle Bands. This classic Radiance Gold ring was £103 on the website. So with the 25% off code, you can pick one of these up for about 75 quid and it's going to last you a lifetime, never miss shape, and it still looks like a classic gold wedding band. So big thanks to Gentle Bands for sponsoring this video, and with that, let's get into the Wiha tools from the Screwfix show. So first item I picked up from Wiha were their ErgoStar Allen keys, and there's a bit of a theme here. These were tools I didn't know existed. I didn't know that Wiha did. So I knew they did Allen keys because I've had a classic set of their chrome Wiha keys in the past. I don't know where they are, but it was nice to see a color-coded set. Bit of a popular trend really to have a color-coded Allen key set. There's a few brands that have one. So it's nice to see that Wiha have joined the fray, but the difference with a set of Wiha Allen keys, not just the color coding, is also the magic ring. It's like a metal O-ring basically. It looks like a rubber O-ring, but actually it's a bit of spring steel that just goes around the bottom of the ball end Allen key, and when you put it into like a cap head, it like locks on, so it's a little bit easier. You can remove a cap head, and then when you pull it out, it will bring the cap head away with it, which is a very, very handy little feature. But a lovely set of Allen keys, and I thought that was a nice little pickup as well. Not too expensive as well. Nice little magic ring set of Wiha Allen keys on the panel. Next from the bag is another little tool I didn't know they did. This is like a bit of a dog bone, you might call it. It's a single 4-in-1 ratchet spanner, but you've got four common sizes, four common metric sizes anyway in the UK, 10, 13, 17 and 19 mil on a dog bone 4-in-1 spanner. And it's a really nice quality one, 72 teeth, 5-degree movement, and you can hear it's got a nice fine click to it. It's another great little addition to a Wiha toolkit. The fact you've got kind of most of the time when you need one spanner, you need two, but to have like a 4-in-1 spanner along with a classic set of spanners is a pretty good addition to any set, and just another lovely quality item which I'm going to be adding to the panel. Let's keep going. Now here's another item I picked up, which I've got a very similar Wiha set of these, which have always been one of my favourite tools. Here's the Wiha set, and it's basically a combination VDE cutter. You've got a cable shear, wire strippers, and then like a long nose plier all in one. Well, the Wiha version is very similar, but I was pleased to see this is like an upgraded version. So I think this might be my new go-to because it's got the long nose pliers. It's actually got 3 wire strip incisors rather than 2 on this. And it's got the cable shear, but it's also got a little feature I love. I've only seen this before on my CK Snips, but essentially it's a socket screw cutter. So if you've ever put a socket front on, you have the 2 little M3 socket screws, and sometimes the dry lining box or the pattress box can be a little bit too far, the screws aren't long enough. Those little screws usually come in like 50mm lengths, and you need to cut them down. And if you cut them with a hacksaw, you've kind of got a filey end so you can get the thread started and you can cross thread it, and it's a bit of a nightmare sometimes. Well, on this, you can literally just put a screw through that hole, cut it off. Not only is it much easier to cut them, but also it cuts them in a way that the thread works straight away, which is absolutely magic. That is such a good addition to a pair of pliers. And this is a combination plier that I think will go into regular use for me. So I was very pleased to see Wiha had a set, but also a better set. That is really, really cool. So I was well pleased with that. Doesn't quite stop there either, because I also picked up Wiha's Volt Stick, another tool I didn't know that they had. I've always used the Fluke Volt Alert. I've even got one in my wall behind me. I've had one for so long, and it is a really, really good tool. I love it for fault finding, for just quickly buzzing out cables to find the one you need, and I've always really highly rated that. It's in pretty much every little tool kit that I've put together. I've always put in a little Volt Stick. And then I saw that Wiha have got one, but this one is slightly upgraded from the volt alert, because this one will detect power and it'll show you if it's low or high, so you can detect like 5 volts, 12 volts. If you're just trying to check like transformer wires or electronics, this would work. But also, it's got a pretty bright LED torch built in as well, so if you're working in a panel and there's not very much light, that is going to be really helpful. So I thought that, again, a little beauty from Wiha that I didn't know was in their lineup, so I'm very happy with that. That's going in the panel. It doesn't quite stop there with my Screwfix pickups, because I also picked up a folding little panel key, which again, every toolkit really, if you're an electrician, and general purpose kits as well, need a panel key. You know, even a household kit really needs a panel key. Usually they're a cross shape and they take up a little bit of space in a toolkit, especially when you're trying to put it in foam. They're quite an awkward item to put into any layout. When it folds up like this though, that is a lot easier. You can have it folded up like this, you can have it solid, and you can kind of get it into your toolkit a lot easier, and it's a really nice quality one. So that was a really cool little pickup. Now I do have another quirky Wiha panel key in my classic toolkit, but this I would say is even better. So that's going in the panel. And then finally, one of the things I really like about Wiha is that their vario tips will work in the screwdriver, in the little pocket screwdriver, they'll work in the electric screwdriver. It's all the same tip. So if you've got a 6-in-1 pop-up screwdriver, those bits will come out and go into other items. And to pick up a little stubby that will use the vario tips, and then also a little watchmaker's kind of precision screwdriver handle that takes the same tips. It just rounds out a really nice toolkit, which I really like. So, you know, if you've already got a full lineup of these little vario tips, with this one little handle here, you've now got a full lineup of precision screwdrivers. And then with the little stubby handle, you've got a full lineup of stubbies in every size. So again, fantastic little items from Wiha that are going in the panel. Now the final item from Screwfix is the giveaway. You know we love a giveaway on this channel, and this video is no different. And I think this is probably one of the coolest items you can get from Wiha. Sadly, I can't add it to the panel, but it is Wiha socks. Now, all you've got to do to enter the giveaway to win a pair of Wiha socks is drop a comment down below. Let me know if any of these tools stand out to you. If you've got any Wiha tools, or there's any you particularly love, get your comments in. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and you will be entered. And it doesn't quite stop there, because I picked up another item as well for the giveaway, and that is a Wiha bottle opener. I think what makes a better prize bundle than a Wiha bottle opener, VDE as well, so even if your bottle's electrified, you're safe taking the lid off. That is the little prize bundle. So if you want a Wiha bottle opener and some Wiha socks, get your comments in, make sure you subscribe, don't miss out, because this is a pretty cool giveaway. But with that being said, it's time to get to my existing Wiha tools. So let me talk you through all my existing Wiha tools, which have all been, in this case, that I picked up from Facebook Marketplace. Now, I picked up this tool case from Facebook, got this from Richard Gill. I bought a few bits off him, a Wiha roll cab, this, and actually got loads of tools off Facebook in a full Facebook tool video. If you want to see that video, click up here. Pretty exciting, I got some real cool stuff, including this case, which did come loaded with tools, but a bunch of those I've sold on Whatnot. I'll put the link in the description for Whatnot if you want to know what that is. That is a tool auction I run every Monday. But what is left is some of my favourite Wiha tools and some of the ones that I've held on to from Richard. And I'll go through them because there's some bangers in here, starting with another addition to the Zollstock collection. This was added to the number though in the Facebook video. But we're going strong at 97, so I'll put that on the panel. Also in here, we've got a Wiha bottle opener. This is a little pickup. I think I got this from one of the first tool fairs. Can't just be you guys that get one of those. Got to add one to the panel as well. This is the utility key I mentioned. I've had this for probably 10 years, and it is a 1/4-inch bit driver, but then inside the handle, this kind of rotates and you've got 4 panel keys. So similar to this one, in the fact that it's got the same panel keys on it, but I quite like the form factor because it's kind of like you can go in a pocket. It's got a pocket clip, and it's got the 1/4-inch bit driver. I don't often use it as a 1/4-inch bit driver because it is quite weak. It's plastic, and you know you can't get much torque without rounding it off, but it's good in a pinch. It's also got a little radiator bleeding key on it as well, which is quite cool. I think this has as well, so that's quite cool. Both of those are nice. They're going in the panel. We've also got a pair of cable shears. You know, obviously we've got the multi-purpose cable shears here, but this is an even beefier set, so great to get in the panel. Now we're moving into the screwdriver bit drivers, basically, with the bits in the head. Now this is a little beauty. This is a 12-in-1 Wiha classic soft finish handle, so it's not VDE. It's a 1/4-inch bit driver with that lovely little pop-out function, and these are really, really good value for money. You can get these for like 15, 20 quid, and you've got 12 bits, really well made in Germany, and that is a proper satisfying little mechanism that in it. So that's going in the panel. And then we've got the VDE version. So this is the VDE multifunction screwdriver, and this has got 6 of the slim vario bits in it. And again, it's just fantastic that they will go into this screwdriver, but they can also go into the little precision one or into the stubby. And just to note, the reason why they're slim vario is because the insulation on these bits isn't wider than the shaft. Sometimes you'll have a VDE screwdriver where the insulation's like 1/2 mil wider than the steel. So if you're trying to go into a terminal connection, it kind of won't fit because the insulation's blocking it. Whereas you can see this, it's literally flush, it's smooth. The steel sets back a little bit, so the plastic runs flush to the end of the screwdriver, so that can go into any kind of terminal connection without blocking you, which is fantastic. So that is the Vario slim bits, which fit in this 6-in-1 VDE screwdriver with a 1/4" bit, but also fit into the Precision and into the stubby, which is a great part of the Wiha lineup. I really do like that. And then finally, we've got their new, this is quite a new product from Wiha, this is their Pocket Max. I think I picked this up at the Bagheeri show, the Denmark's biggest show. And this is essentially the same thing, but a much smaller form factor. That's why it's Pocket Max. It's got 4 bits in the head. This just literally pops up, it's just kind of magnetized in there. And you can see that is just such a small little thing, but you can take one of the bits out, put it in there, and then you've got basically a full-size screwdriver, which is fantastic. And we're not quite done because there's a few other little bits hiding in the bottom, starting with the electrician's Wiha hammer. Now, what makes it an electrician's hammer? Well, it's a smaller form factor than your traditional hammer. It's a bit lighter as well, and it's got a flat top on it, so you can kind of nail in pins or cable clips really up in awkward spots. So if you're trying to put in a cable clip right high up to the ceiling or just on a joist high up, you've got this flat surface here to make it easier to do. And it's lighter because when you're just putting in cable clips, you don't need a big old 16-ounce, 20-ounce claw hammer. This is just the job for that. So that is going in the panel. And then finally, in the case, we've got the 2 electric screwdrivers. Again, I got these at the Denmark Bagheeri show. The one is a bit of a cheaper, speedy, mechanical pocket screwdriver. This is USB-C charged. It's got a nice bright LED in it, 1/4" drive. It comes with a bit set and a 1/4" adapter. Bit of a classic. I think this is a really popular model from Wiha because the price point is so good. So that's going in the wall. And then the pièce de resistance, I'd say, of my toolkit from Wiha is their speedy electrician's screwdriver, which again takes the slim Vario bit. So the same bits out the Pocket Max, this one out the Precision screwdriver, they all take the same bits, but this is a VDE rated electric speedy screwdriver with a nice bright LED in the end, and it's also got 2 torque settings. So you can use it on MCB breaker screws without over tightening them, which is really good. And with this one, you can actually take the battery out, put it in the charger, you can have a spare battery running, so it's never out of operation, unlike with the USB-C one. If it dies, you've got to put it on charge. With this one, you can switch the battery out. So that is the electric screwdrivers. That is all my tools. That brings us to the final little mystery bundle that Wiha have sent us. So let's have a look what they've sent over. Right, so first out of the bag, let's have a look. I can see a loose tool, and that is a pair of their grips. Now this is pretty cool because I did look at these at the show briefly, and what's quite nice is these aren't like pipe grips. These are parallel grips, so they work in the same way as a spanner. So you've got 2 flat sides, but there's no button on them to slide them up and down. You kind of like ratchet them into place without a button. There's no need for a button, which is quite nice. But parallel grips are a great addition to go with this full set of spanners. Kind of like this really. You can match that up with a set of spanners, and that's going to give you basically, in most cases, most common metric sizes, you're going to have 2 spanners. But with this can kind of fill the gaps that doesn't. So a very handy tool to have in your toolkit, parallel grips, and a really nice quality set. So this is actually a good item to explain to you as well. One of the key differences in some Wiha tools, which was kind of news to me, I only learned this recently, but they have 2 grades of VDE pliers. Now I was kind of aware of this subconsciously. They have the chrome lineup and then they have their forged steel lineup, and they look very similar. Obviously you can tell the difference because the chrome ones and then the forged ones, they do look different, but on the handles, the forged ones will say industrial electric, and then on these ones will say professional electric. Now I think Wiha have faced a bit of a challenge with this because there's a perception that the chrome ones might be cheaper. It's actually more expensive to take a set of forged pliers and then go and get them chrome plated. But because all of the cheap tools coming out of China all look like this, chromed up, there can be a little bit of a misnomer that the chrome ones aren't as good. So that's why the forged steel ones are all still on offer. And you do see this from Nipex as well. But the professional ones, for me, I do prefer that. Because when you're in the know, you can kind of be ahead of the game really. These are the same quality as the forged ones, but by being chrome plated, they won't rust. If you're working anywhere with a bit of moisture, or you give these a wipe with a cloth and you forget to kind of put some oil or WD-40 on them, you can start getting rust spots and you can start getting a bit of tarnishing on them, which is a bit of a shame for really good quality tools. Now obviously that can be avoided by a little bit of oil, a bit of WD-40, looking after your stuff, or getting chrome versions. So it's definitely nice to add a pair of the parallel grips to the panel, but also one of their chrome items in their professional electric as well, which I think we can squeeze that in here somewhere, maybe shifty these along, slot it there. But there's more items in the bag, so let's go for the next one. Right, next up is their Torque Vario electric little pouch. So this is their 14-piece little pocket set. So these are items that Wiha have sent me because they wanted them in the panel. These are some of their most popular lines that they wanted in this panel, and this is nice. This is the first item I've ever looked at from Wiha that comes in a little pouch. This is their Torque Vario, so you can set the torque setting, and again, kind of like we were speaking with the Speedy here, but this has got more options. You can set the torque that you need for the screws, and obviously certain breakers and different brands of breakers will have different torque settings for the breakers that you have to set the screws to. So everything is tight enough but not over tightened, and it's not going to loosen off. Right, it took a little bit of working out this. I've never looked at this product before. So essentially, the way you adjust the torque setting is with this little device here. So I've set it up now on 0.8 Newton meters with the adapter inside it and then a terminal screwdriver fitting. Now to take the fitting out, you just pull the little lock back and then the slim vario bit can come out, and I'll put that back in the pouch. And then this shaft will pull out. Then you put this tool that comes in the kit into the driver, and then you can literally twist it and set the torque setting for whatever you need it to be, and it can go from 0.8 up to 5. So loads of settings, really cool little item. And obviously most of the time you're going to set this and then not have to really adjust it very often. You're going to set it to whatever you need it to be, and then it'll just stay. So if you need it on 3.4, you set it, and there's no way that that's going to like move because you have to set it with this tool. It's going to be fixed in position, which is pretty cool. You can't knock it or change it at all. And then you put that inside, and then it's fixed now, ready for whatever bit you need. So if you need a kind of posi drive 2-bit, you lock that in there, you're now ready to rock and roll, and you could probably just leave it in that setting for everything you're tightening up. And also in this kit, I can see it doesn't quite stop there because you also get a small little pocket driver as well, just a standard 1/4-inch little screwdriver head in that kit. So lovely little kit that, to be fair. I'm very impressed with the torque driver. Quite a wide range as well, 0.8 to 5. And having it all in this pouch also adds a nice logo to the board, because I think I'll cut that in exactly as it is in the kit. And I've got a nice Wiha logo, and that does help us fill a bit of the space as well. So happy days with that. Right, next out the bag is another little Wiha compact kit, but this one is in a zip case. So this is Wiha's 21-piece electrician's tool set, they call it, and it comes in this really cool little pouch. I like it. It opens up, you got these straps on the side, and then you can have all your slim vario bits in this little pouch. You've got a few other little bits here, and then in this section here, feels like it's crying out for a piece of shadow foam, to be fair, but this is going in shadow foam, so I think we'll leave it as it is. But inside here, we've got a wire stripper, a little pocket lever, which is quite cool, pair of long nose pliers, chrome professional version, which is cool. You've got a bit driver, a stubby bit driver, a little weird neon screwdriver. That's pretty nifty, and I'm not a big fan of these, to be honest, the little neon screwdrivers, but look smart, pretty cool looking one. And then a run of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 of the slim vario bits and a little bit extension as well. So nice little kit, but I do really like the pouch. I think that is quite a nice little compact pouch, that is, to be fair. Another nice little Wiha logo, and as I said, the things Wiha have sent me are some of their best-selling Wiha tools, so I can see why they've sent me that. That is a really nice little kit. So that goes in the panel. And then we're on our last item from Wiha, and it is a beastie little thing. This is their cable cutter. This is for heavy-duty, like SWA cables. It's their 300mm VDE cable cutter. Probably a few quid this, but this is for cutting proper chunky cables, and saves you getting hacksaw out. You can just chunk, go through it with this. And with that, I think we've pretty much got all of the tools for the panel, and that is all the most popular items in the Wiha lineup represented, because obviously Wiha do have a full lineup of pliers, a full lineup of screwdrivers, loads of other options, but this is a pretty good spread of their most popular stuff. And to be fair, I've just remembered I've missed 2 absolute bangers. So important, in fact, they weren't in the case, they weren't in the bag, they were in this wall behind me. That's why I nearly missed them out. So can you spot them in the wall? This is one of my all-time favourites. I found this at one of the very first tool fairs. It's the 40cm electrician's level from Wiha, and it's got these sliding little marking points. So if you're setting out a lot of sockets, or bulkhead fittings is one that I've heard this used for quite a lot. But if you're doing any sort of marking and fixing, drilling the wall, you can use this basically like a jig or a template, and you can set these to the marking points that you need, and that way you can hold it up against the wall, make sure it's level, and then mark the same holes every time. It's such a cool and innovative tool that just makes sense, doesn't it? That just makes sense. So I'm going to put that right in the middle. And then finally, it's the Wiha bi-cuts. These were one of the very first tools I got from Wiha that I was absolutely buzzing off, because they are essentially a pair of diagonal cutters or wire cutters with this power button on. So essentially, in normal mode, they just pivot at the standard place, they just pivot in here, they just work as a pair of high leverage cutters, because they've got this little inset shape here, which you get with high leverage cutters. But then you press this button in here, and it moves that pivot point to a bit lower down. So essentially you can cut through heavier gauge chain and heavier gauge wire, and it just makes it easier. You don't have to have as much strength to get through. So a really quality pair of snips, and innovative as well, just thinking outside the box, which I love. And with that, we've pretty much filled up the panel. All I've got to do is add a big old Wiha logo, which I think I'll put in the middle. Feels like center stage for the Wiha logo. I'll put a shadow foam logo across the top. I might have to tweak the layout a little bit just to get everything in. Maybe kind of put the screwdriver there or something, but I'll tweak the layout a little bit. And then all I'll do is cut all of the tools in. And for that, it's as simple as placing the item where I want it to go, cutting around it with a scalpel. Once I've cut down deep enough, I then peel back layers of foam to create the perfect slot for that item. And I'll do the exact same technique for every item, and then I'll add a finger pull all the way across the bottom. Hopefully I can have one long track to cover most of the tools across the bottom. And then anything that's been missed, I'll just add a little semicircle. And with all the foam cut, all I'll do then is add a frame, screw her back onto the frame, so I've got one solid panel, and then it'll be a case of taking it back to Screwfix Live and seeing what the Wiha team think of it. But I think all of that is for tomorrow, and right now it's time to get cutting some shadow foam. Right, so I found the Wiha booth and I can see our panel on the front of it. So let me show you where it's ended up. Down here at Screwfix Live, it's absolutely packed. They've got 30,000 people coming to the show this year, and there is the panel looking smart. Right at the front of the booth. How's it gone down, Charlie, this panel?
Amazing, really, really, really good, really good. I can't say how much praise we've been getting for it, so really appreciate it.
Nothing's missing yet?
No, not yet.
And this is day 2, right?
Yeah.
The challenge. That logo was a bit tricky, but I think it was worth it having the logos right in the middle.
Yeah, the amount of people that have been drawn to this for all, how you've managed to get such straight lines and how precise you are, it's been incredible. They're just standing there and just admiring it. They're like,
Yeah.
That's
what I like to hear. So in the video, I talked through all my top favourites. What are your top 3 favourites on this board?
So this comes in as top 3. I think this is probably one of the best things you can have as an electrician. Gets you into as a domestic, industrial, commercial electrician. You need it. You can get into panels, meter cupboards. It's got a radiator bleed key on it, so even non-electrical things you can do with that.
Number 2.
I'm gonna go, this is gonna be controversial, this, considering we're predominantly VDE products, but this is one of my favourite, very underrated, for we are 4-in-1, and we've had a lot of HVAC guys who have come up to the stand and had a look at this, purely because if you get a call out or anything, slot that in your bag. You've got your 4 spanners there, not taking much space up, not much weight.
That was a tool I didn't know you did until we were making the panel, and it is really nice quality, and it is the size you need in it, 17, 19, 10 and a 13, so it is pretty spot on.
And then you've got to go for the all-time classic, which is the Pocket Max.
Yeah.
Again, this is such a simple yet detailed bit of kit. So again, as an electrician, like I sort of go to call-out purposes. You've got what you can open there, you can use that, and this is just put that in one, slip it in your side pocket, and you've got 4 screwdrivers all within a slim handle.
That's the one I was a bit more familiar with, but that one's that bit smaller, and at 4 screwdriver options is kind of all you need, isn't it? It's just that little bit more pocketable, which I really like. So yeah, great pick. Well, it was a pleasure building it for you, Charlie.
It's been a pleasure working with it, really has.
And hopefully that you get to the end of the show, it's all in there, and then it's ready for what, future shows? Are you going to put it on the wall? Or
Next show's Sandown, so it's going to be going to our shows, and then we've already had a few ideas that hopefully we'll sit down with you in the near future and discuss some further bits. But yeah,
sounds good.
It's brilliant. It's really, really good, mate, and really, really proud of it. And basically to have both our names on it as well, I think is a nice touch. So
awesome. So if you want to see this, it's going to be at Tool Fair in Sandown. So you've missed Screwfix Live, but there's always next year, and then Sandown at Tool Fair. So thanks very much, Wiha. Thanks, Charlie.
No worries.
And for all the tools, and we'll see you in the next one.